Good afternoon. It is midday on a Wednesday afternoon. Hope you are enjoying your day. Warm welcome to Mo Sports. I'm OB.KNOWS, and you might be a little bit surprised of who's this guy on your screen and why is he introducing the show. Firstly, Mo is absent. He will be back in a couple of days, but that is not nothing to worry about because I still got you with all the football news and the football talk that you so love to hear from us here on a daily on Mo Sports. Warm welcome to the show. And you know how we do. We started off with a Mo riddle on the show, and that's exactly what I'm going to start off by doing, by giving you the Mo riddle of today's show. And to give us the answer of the Mo riddle, you just simply just gotta send us a WhatsApp. It is 071-621-4746. So just take out your phone, and if you feel like you know exactly who I'm talking about, just don't be shy. Don't feel shy to send us your answer. I will read out your name if you have indeed sent the correct answer onto the show. And let's get straight into the riddle. And this is how it goes, today's riddle. It reads as follows. I'm a French international who holds 2 Confederations Cup gold medals, a World Cup and a Euro 98 gold medal. I played for Marseille before making a move to Arsenal and later playing for Villarreal and Aston Villa. Who am I? So this guy, he's got 2 Confederations Cup medals. He's got a World Cup medal. He's also got a Euro 98 medal as well in there. I'll give you one more clue. He's also got a medal playing with the Invincibles of Arsenal. You do remember that 2003 and 4 season. That is the season which Arsenal managed to get through that league season without taking a loss. And he was part of that team. So if you do know the answer, just simply, like I said, SMS, or rather send us a WhatsApp on the number 071-621-4746. And what to expect on today's show? Simply, it is a Wednesday. We kick it off with some news, right? We give you a bit of Mo news, and we're going to jump into, we've got 2 guests actually, 2 guests who will tell us a little bit what they think about the upcoming friendly tomorrow that's taking place between South Africa and Uganda. And we'll also be talking about the World Cup qualifiers. I mean, it has been going down in South America, and we're going to give you all the we're going to give you a front row seat to all that information of what's going on at that side of the world. But we're going to kick it off with the news, and the first topic the first point in the news, or the first headline rather, it says MO&OB.KNOWS questions award selections. Of course, decision. He questions the decision of the awarding of the Coach of the Year award to Benny McCarthy, right? And this is what MO&OB.KNOWS had to say. He says he wants clarity on the awards, and he says that to win the league with 13 points away from number 2, to lose 1 game and not to lose even 1 match away from home, and only concede 14 goals for the season, which shows the defense was very good. Score more than 45 goals, which suggests that your scoring ratio is also very good. Maybe there's something that we did not do, which is the most important thing for us, is to know so that we can improve. Clearly, MO&OB.KNOWS not so impressed with the awarding of the award to Benny McCarthy. I mean, it is questionable. I mean, I did say we had a chat with the Daily Sun Sports editor on Monday here, Mr. Matthews Mbete, and we spoke about what could be the reasons of Benny McCarthy receiving this award. And overall, there's a panel of journalists, there's a panel of people who write blogs, and trusted individuals who select who the winner of this award is. And they all came to a unanimous decision, deciding that Benny McCarthy had the much bigger task, of course, taking AmaZulu from a relegation-threatened team and turning it into a contender of the title, rather, or you can also say he brought them into Champions League football. So a lot is questionable from the decision, but like MO&OB.KNOWS is saying, I mean, he's giving us all the stats that are pointing to the fact that they should have, or maybe they deserved rather, to receive that Coach of the Year award. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I wonder what your thoughts are when you're at home. I mean, it is a conversation that I saw trending on Sunday, or rather on Monday morning on Twitter, because a lot of people were thinking that Mandla Ncikazi rather is the one who deserved it because of the lack of infrastructure he had to work with at Golden Arrows. But, it's something that there's no rule book towards selecting who deserves to take the crown home, or rather the award of Coach of the Season home. Not even if you win the title, it doesn't really say that you deserve to get this medal, rather this award. And it's been proven once again by the PSL, and it's just unfortunate that MO&OB.KNOWS didn't receive that award. I'm just hoping that he's not feeling bitter towards Benny McCarthy. I mean, he did congratulate him for receiving the award, so I guess that could just tell us a little bit more about his character as a coach. I mean, he does understand that Benny's coming from a different a school of coaching. I mean, he's still a new coach in the football fraternity, and unlike Mangoba Mngqithi, who's been through it all, it is a lot more that we can discuss in terms of this argument of who deserved it. But I still do think that Ben McCarthy rightfully did deserve that award. And sticking with the awards, jumping into the second topic of our news, it says SAFA and PSL in award ceremony dispute, and this is simply because of Tebogo Motlanthe had to come out yesterday, the SAFA president. He had to come out and he spoke about the fact that there is, what would usually happen at the end of a season is that at the end of the season, SAFA would give the PSL the names of, or rather a list of names of officials who had done well throughout the campaign. And this time around, of course, the award ceremony was not held there was no contact because of course, COVID-19. It had to be virtually transmitted. It had to be done virtually. It had to be done through Skype. It had to be pre-recorded as well before it was aired live for us South Africans to be able to view and see who wins the awards. And the reason why SAFA didn't hand in the list of referees was simply because the PSL needed the names 3 weeks prior to the end of the season, and SAFA actually had to come out and say that the reason why we didn't give the names to the PSL was because if a referee is actually given as a nominee, and he makes a mistake in the last 3 or 2 games that are remaining of the season, they as SAFA cannot defend that. They cannot defend that, and it makes sense to me that they couldn't give the list of officials who would be, of course, nominated as referees of the season or whatever. But I do think that SAFA made a valid point, and for what PSL is doing, I mean, there's a lot more they can be disputing about. I mean, there's a lot that's going on in terms of the NFD. They still need to sort that out in court, and for me, I think there's bigger fish to fry rather than arguing about which referee should be receiving the award of the official of the season. I mean, let's be frank about the whole situation of the refereeing in South Africa. I mean, it's not been too great. I mean, at the beginning of the season, we had so many errors that happened in the games. I mean, a lot of teams were costly points as well. I mean, I do remember a game between Bloemfontein Celtic and Mamelodi Sundowns where Seira scored a clean goal, but it wasn't given because the linesman called it as an offside, which clearly wasn't an offside. And we've had more of those type of calls throughout the season. So I do think that even if this year we're like, let's not award any officials an award. It wouldn't be a big problem because they haven't really stepped up their game in terms of officiating. But we have to give a bigger hand to Showmax for being involved with trying to help the officiating in the country to improve. Hopefully, we will be seeing a lot more improvement from the officiating come next season. But we have to move on and jump into Europe and just give you what's been going on in terms of the transfer news that side. And Erling Haaland is courted by Chelsea. And, one thing that Mo doesn't like doing when he's on the show is to speculate about transfers, right? But this one is very difficult for us to ignore. And I'll give you a couple of facts of why this is and something that is very impossible to ignore. Firstly, Erling Haaland is one of the best strikers in the world compared to Lewandowski himself. You got to compare him to Lewandowski because they play in the same league and they've competed, for now, about 2 seasons. And in these 2 seasons, it's been very close between the two. Of course, this season, Lewandowski ran away with also getting that record of Gerd Müller and getting, to sit number 1 in terms of the top goal scorers in Bundesliga football, sitting with 41 goals. And it is a big feat, of course, for Erling Haaland to reach there. I mean, he scored 40 goals himself throughout all competitions. So clearly, at the age of 20, he's a very good striker. And we need to talk about the fact that his contract at Borussia Dortmund stipulates that he has a release clause which kicks in next season. And once it kicks in, his release clause is only about 70 million. And how much is Erling Haaland valued at? He's valued at 110 million euros. And so that kind of means that if Dortmund were not to sell Erling Haaland this season, and it's apparent that they could be the asking price could be about 170 million euros. And if they don't sell him for that amount of money this season, they're gonna risk losing him for about 70 million next season, which might just happen because, of course, Erling Haaland has said that, if Dortmund didn't qualify for the Champions League come next season, he was going to leave. So clearly, he has intentions and bigger intentions of doing bigger things with his career. And that simply does mean that if Erling Haaland gets the opportunity to join a team, I mean, these are the European champions we're talking about. And should he get that chance to join a European powerhouse, he's going to leave. he's definitely going to leave. And, I think it's worth a chat to hear what your thoughts are as the viewers. What do you think about Erling Haaland, being courted by Chelsea? I mean, Chelsea, they are a team that have had a very big spending spree in the last transfer window, and of course they're not shy of spending some more money, and for a striker such as Erling Haaland, it could just be a match made in heaven. I mean, Tammy Abraham, a player who has not received quite a lot of game time this season. He's played a total of 32 games and only scoring 6 goals and getting 2 assists throughout the season. So Tammy Abraham could be part of a deal that would see Erling Haaland come to Chelsea, and rather Tammy Abraham move over to Borussia Dortmund. And the question is, would this be a good move for Tammy Abraham himself? I mean, yes, he's been part of this Chelsea team, and to be honest with you, starting off last season, Chelsea's first game last season was a 5-0 drubbing against Manchester United at Old Trafford. And from that game, I had told a couple of the friends I was watching that game with that in Tammy Abraham, I see a 20-goal per season striker. I mean, he gave off that impression. Although they didn't score any goals in that game, they lost by 5-0. You could see the opportunities that he was creating. You could see the movement of the ball from Tammy Abraham and what he does when he's on the ball. And I do think that when he moves, or if he does actually move to Germany, he will be linking up with the likes of Jadon Sancho. That's if he does decide to stay at Borussia Dortmund. Jude Bellingham, another Englishman who's in there. But we've seen a pool of other English players going all the way to Germany and actually, making a good impression. I mean, we can talk about Demarai Gray as well, who's coming from Leicester City and joining Bayer Leverkusen. Made a great impression. I mean, scoring on his debut as well for Bayer Leverkusen. So I do think that Tammy Abraham won't have it too hard if he does move all the way to Germany. I mean, there is a team that is in the Premier League that is trying to take a chance on him. When we're talking about West Ham, they're looking at him. Crystal Palace is also trying to weigh their options with Tammy Abraham. But if he does go to Borussia Dortmund, he does get Champions League football. So I do think he will have a lot to think about in terms of making that move to Borussia Dortmund. And rounding up the news, we're going to talk about Nuno Espirito Santo. And well, this morning when I walked in here, I can confirm that the talks were that Nuno Espirito Santo would be joining Crystal Palace. And just a few minutes before I started the show, it was posted by Sky Sports that indeed, Nuno Espirito Santo's talks with Crystal Palace have not fallen through. And, well, I have a guest here in studio who says if Fabrizio Romano has not stated that this deal is not going through, this deal is not going through, then you must know that that is the actual fact. And we're going to wait until Fabrizio does confirm if Santo is actually not going to Crystal Palace. But the question obviously, it arises because Santo has turned down the move to Everton. He's turned down the move to Tottenham Hotspurs as well. So it's a big question of is he trying to or is he being set up for failure at the Crystal Palace? Is he walking into a relegation battle as well? I mean, it seems very likely to me. And I say this simply because Crystal Palace have 10 players, make that 11 players that could be leaving the team due to no contract extensions, and if you do say that 11 players are leaving the squad, you're most probably thinking that these are squad players. And we're running out of time, but I want to quickly get past these 11 players. We're talking about Patrick Van Aanholt. We're talking about Mamadou Sakho. We're talking about Andres Townsend. We're talking about Jeffrey Schlupp. We're talking about James McCarthy, Jewel Ward, Gary Cahill, Nathaniel Klein is in there, Scott Dan, Wayne Hennessy, and Connor Wickham. And for me, 10 of those players are the players that would literally be playing week in and week out for Crystal Palace. So I don't know what Nuno's chances are at Crystal Palace of him turning things around, but it is for us to wait and see what happens next season. Will he even end up at Crystal Palace? It is a big question that we'll have to answer in the next few months. For now though, I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be talking to our one and only guest, well, one of two guests. He is a sports analyst, and he'll be telling us a little bit more about what he thinks about the international games that just took place and what is going on in terms of Bafana. We'll be right back.
Practice makes perfect, according to the Super TV team.
You know that if you get this,
Yes, if you get this bill, like 10,000.
Okay, here's my logic. I love my TV.
So, SMS Super TV to 30978 and join us for some football fun. Don't miss Football Studio every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. only on Super TV, OpenView, channel 150.
Evolution Games presents Live Blackjack. The fastest, slickest, richest featured online blackjack game ever. Be the Boza Yamaboza. Be the blessed of the blessers. Live and ready to give you moolah. Watch us play blackjack on Super TV, channel 150 on OpenView, or SMS Super TV to 30978 and play it yourself.
Superbets is breaking all the rules for you. Play sports, numbers, and horse racing without using your data. SMS data free to 30978 to start playing. Bet with the biggest. Bet with Superbets.
Warm welcome to Super TV, channel 150 on your open view decoder. It is Mo Sports. We talk everything football on this show. And if you are surprised about who's this guy introducing the show, I am OB.KNOWS, and I'm making sure that we deliver all the footballing talks to you right at your doorstep. And right across me, you might have missed it, but right across me, I've got a guest who I'll be talking to about Bafana. But before we get to that, I need to give you the Mo riddle. And, simply, if you want to give me the answer, just take out your phone and save this number. You just send us a WhatsApp and let me know who you think the answer is. The number is 0716214746. And the riddle goes as follows. It goes as follows. It says, I'm a French international who holds 2 Confederation Cup gold medals, a World Cup and a Euro 98 gold medal. I played for Marseille before making a move to Arsenal and later playing for Villarreal and Aston Villa. Who am I? I mean, if you do know who that man is, just simply send us a WhatsApp and your answer will be read out live on air here on Mo Sports. And let's get into this interview with our guest, Kifuwe Mahlangu. Kifuwe, thank you for joining us today, man.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. I mean, you've been wanting to come onto the show, and finally you are here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And what is football to you?
Football means the world to me, to be honest. Love it very much. I'm a podcaster. I do YouTube as well. So yeah, a lot of the people, you guys can check me out there on YouTube, Sports Talk with Kifuwe. But anyway, yeah, I just love sports in a whole, and I just love talking about football and other sports as well.
Alright, cool. Let's talk about Bafana because that's what we're here for. I mean, we're playing not Sudan rather, but we're playing Uganda tomorrow, and the squad has been taken out, but Hugo Bruce won't be on the stands. I mean, yes, he did say that one of the reasons why he won't be at the bench for Bafana is because he'll be taking his second COVID-19 jab in Belgium, so he won't be available. But we've got Helman Kelele at the helm. What do you make of Hugo Bruce's appointment, firstly, and what do you make of his assistant coaches that have been set by him?
Well, with one of those assistant coaches, he didn't choose. Safa chose for him.
Who's this?
Helman Kelele. He didn't choose Helman Kelele, and then he brought his own stuff, which I always say, always bring in your own coaches so that you make everything better, because you can trust. Always bring in someone you can trust. That's why previously, and they worked well. So he's bringing in someone you trust. He knows, and he might do something. But Helman Kelele, we don't know too much about his coaching pedigree. He's been coaching under 20, Bafana, but he hasn't qualified for anything. Maybe it might be the crop of players. Maybe it might be him. No.
I think the crop of players that the coaches and the development sides have, I think they're much better than what we have in the national team, because like you said earlier on, that these guys actually qualify for World Cups. I mean, we saw, I think it was the under 20 or the under 23 went to the World Cup with Senong not too long ago, and it was a situation that it led to us questioning, if these players are going to make it into the Bafana setup. But this is what Helman Kelele actually had to say in the press conference yesterday, is that the players have the talent, but they don't have the fighting spirit that comes in naturally. Each and every footballer, those are the challenges that need to be addressed at club level, so that when they come to the national team, we are able to deal with them at a tactical level. Now, that leads into my second question. Of course, he's talking about the players. He says that they need to be tuned in a little bit more. They need to do a little bit more mental game. They need to know how to, tune into games and be a little bit more, how can I say it? I
Have that dog in
have
them.
that thing, about them. I mean, when they don a South African jersey, they need to know that mentally they've got this, So of course he's coming from a background of coaching youngsters, But what do you think of his pedigree as a coach, like at the national team level? Do you think they're going to make any difference to Hugo Broos's setup? Will they help him in any way?
The coaches, yes, because they're there to help him. Because one of his assistant coaches that he's brought he's coached on his own. He's managed a few clubs, although his record is not that great. But the football brain is there. Helman Kelele, the football brain might be there. We're still yet to see and he's still learning. This is a learning curve for him, and it's great that he's learning from Hugo Broos, a coach that has won. So now with what he's just said, that is very, very important. That our players lack that dog in them. That's what I've always said, is that they lack that dog in them. When you go to rugby, they'll tell you we have
Yes, sir.
that spirit. So they have spirit, they fight, they know that they're fighting for their country. And I think it's because our players have it too easy. Most of our players are playing at home. I think maybe
very comfortable as well.
Yes, maybe I think they should start paying them a bit less. Just joking. Because but when we were excellent, most of our players played overseas. That says something.
Yeah.
That means people want your talent.
What do you make of what he says, what Helman Kelele says? How can it help us in the future, of South African football? Like I'm saying, he's worked with the young players, and once these young players obviously get into national level, hopefully he will be there. But how can this help us in terms of the national team in the long run?
Brings in a level of continuity. In rugby, you have a lot of level of continuity. Sorry, I'm always going to rugby, but they have shown that they are great in terms of developing talent in South Africa. They have over 1,000 professional rugby players playing worldwide. So in rugby, you'd have Craven Week, or before Craven Week, you have schools rugby shown on TV. You have Craven Week, which is shown. That's also another acid test. So you see, we keep on seeing these players, and what do we get as a public? We get to see their journey along with those players. So we also feel invested in them, and they also feel invested in us. So we get to see the progression, and they're also using the Varsity Cup as another level. So there's a streamline, or there's a pathway, and even there's continuity. Let's say a player is going to play under 20, and obviously in rugby play under 23 or under 20, I don't remember. It's the World Cup, and then most of them, some of them go into the sevens, and then they come into the Springboks. But there's a streamline, there's a continuity, there's a lot of players that we have dealt with before, so we know their psyche, we know their makeup, we know that they
I like what you're saying right there, because one of my problems with Safa is that there is no continuity. I mean, you look at clear example is Luther Singh. I mean, he was doing great in the lower developments of Bafana, but in the national team, he's barely chosen. Even if he is on the team list, he's not there. But speaking of the squad, I mean, let's take a look at the squad that has been set out by Hugo Broos himself. When I started off by taking a look at the goalkeepers and the defenders, because I have a problem with the goalkeeping selection. Only 2 goalkeepers have been selected. Firstly, we're talking about Bruce Vuma and Ronwen Williams, right? And we'll come back to that. But these are the other defenders that have been put in this team. And Jabulo Ngoba has been fitted into this team, and Denwin Farmer is in there. Rushin Deruk is in there. Nkosinathi Sibisi, Innocent Maela, and Sibusiso Mabiliso. And if we move on to what else they've got the midfielders and the strikers as well. If we could just bring up that graphic as well. They've got Keegan Dolly in there, Leboham Maboe, Aubrey Mudiba, Craig Martin, Tabang Monare, Ethan Brooks, and up front they've got Bongo Kuhle Songwane, Tabiso Kutumela, and Evidence Mahoba, right? But let's go back to that conversation about the goalkeeping situation. I mean, for quite some time, Itumele Nkune was the first choice, right? And I personally do say that he hasn't had competition ever since, the late Senzo Meiwa left us.
Yes.
I feel like there's not been competition at all. And my question now is to you, do you think that we're facing a goalkeeping crisis? Because we only have 2 goalkeepers right now, and Ronwen Williams, for me personally, not the most convincing, right? Bruce Vuma just recently started to get his feet under Kaizer Chiefs, and I think he needs more time at Kaizer Chiefs as a first choice to be able to fit into the national team. But do you see it the same way I see it? I think we have a national crisis of goalkeepers.
Of goalkeepers, yes. Because not a crisis to say, as to say, but I really think that Vuma, if he had gone out on loan and actually played for a proper team, and gotten his experience underneath him, because look at what Manchester United did did with Dean Henderson. They loaned him out to Sheffield United for 2 seasons, played one in the lower division, played in the... But then he had gotten the experience that he needed. So with him, we might have a very good goalkeeper because good on his feet and he can make those crucial saves as we've seen. He's
Calf as well. He did very well in Calf as well.
Yeah, so
Kept him alive in that game against Simba as well. So I'm pleased with his performances currently. I just wish that, like you're saying, that he had been given a lot more game time, right? But let's focus a little bit on tomorrow. I mean, we play against a team that is ranked number 83 in the world. It's ranked number 17 in Africa. And we are ranked number 71 in the world and ranked number 13 in Africa, right? We play against the Uganda side that have Denis Onyango in goals. What do you make of Bafana in this game? I mean, it's a preparation before the World Cup qualifiers. What do you make of this game?
What do I make of it? It's the same way that Helman Kelele makes of it. They should beat Uganda. There's no two ways about it. Even he said, we should beat Uganda. There's no two ways that if Uganda win against us, then they've achieved something.
True.
Uganda doesn't have the same squad or doesn't have the same. We should beat them. We are South Africa. We sometimes we forget that we're South Africa. We used to be in the top 20 in the world. We used to be.
We're forgetting ourselves.
We should beat them. And what I think is that the coach will play 3 at the back based on what he's picked, and even Craig Martin being put even in the midfield. Since when has Craig Martin been a midfielder?
We'll have to wait and see. I mean, like maybe they're looking at past the reels when he was playing in the right wing position. You know, we don't know, but it does look like he's going to be playing in the right wing back position. I mean, like Bafana, I think in the game against Zambia, if you do remember, we played against Zambia, we played against Namibia as well. We played in the first game, I think we played Namibia first, if I'm not mistaken. We played a 3-4-3 formation, and in the second one we played a 4-2-3-1 formation. So I'm not quite sure what's going to happen in terms of what Hugo Bruce is trying to do with the national team, but hopefully it's positive for everyone. Let's just hope it's positive. Let's talk about the Euros, right? Because we're running out of time.
Yeah.
The Euros kick off on Friday. There's a couple of days left before that. Turkey and Italy kick us off in the first few games, and 11 countries are hosting us this time around. You know, it's a different ball game right now because of COVID, right? But who are your favorites? And before we get to the favorites, tell us about who might surprise us first.
The first match you just mentioned, Italy.
Italy might surprise us.
Have you seen Italy lately?
They've been like 33 games unbeaten or something like that right now.
Since Roberto Mancini took over, they've been a very different bottle of kettle. Always keeping it compact, always making you play what they want to play. And even Spain, people are forgetting. So with Italy,
Spain side is good enough.
They have an easy way out of the group. They have an easy group, so they'll get out. And even Portugal last time when they went and won it, they had an easy group. They got out and they ended up winning it.
So you think it might be the same thing for Spain?
Yes, but with Italy, my biggest problem with them is that defense. Even with Spain, but with Italy is that they're old. If they don't keep it compact, because they like pressing, if someone just hits it over them,
it's shy. No one's gonna catch up. And I feel like Turkey might be the surprise package.
Yeah, also them as well.
I think Turkey might.
Chanaloglu being the star of the show.
I just think Turkey might just bring us a surprise. But who are your favorites then to talk about?
France. Did you see what they did yesterday?
I saw what they did yesterday. I'm more concerned about their group. Their group is a tough one. It's a group of death. And
Portugal.
They don't have Benzema anymore. I mean, Benzema limped off yesterday with an injury, so we're not sure if he's gonna, play. But they still have Olivier Giroud. I'm pretty sure that's a conversation. But what do you think France's chances are without Benzema?
Can they still get out of the group? Yes, they can. Because the one thing that Giroud offers you might not give you goals, but that link-up play. Giroud is amazing. I've always said that Giroud might not give you as many goals as you'd want, but that link-up play always makes the team play better. He's a squad player. He knows that I've got to make everyone else around me better, and even Portugal. And
they've got a tough group. I mean, Portugal, Germany, and it's a lot of teams in there. But we're running out of time, right? Let's jump into England. They've got a very young squad. A selection has been made, and he had 4 right backs at some point. Now he's down to 3 because of Trent being injured. He's got Ben White coming in as the replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold, the defender. We thought Ward-Prowse might be the guy in there, but they haven't been very convincing, in terms of winning their games. What do you make of them coming into this tournament?
Were they ever convincing in the World Cup?
They've never been convincing. They've never been convincing to me.
They haven't. So the problem is, it's not a talent issue.
Okay.
It's a coaching issue.
You think so?
Why did he bring in Ben White? Ward-Prowse has had a way better season. You know why? He's carrying 2 injured players, Jordan Henderson
And
Maguire. So now he wants Ben White because he can play both positions and he's good on the ball. What I said is, don't bring Jordan Henderson. He's not ready.
I mean, look, it's a different conversation to talk about Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson is the captain of this national team. And I feel like it's the same situation we're having with Sergio Ramos at Spain, right? There's not a lot of heads in there that can cool down the dressing room in terms of players. And I feel like that's what you kind of need at such big tournaments. I mean, I feel like it's not a bad move to bring in a Jordan Henderson or a Harry Maguire, but Harry Maguire for me in the international stage has not proved himself to be a leader for, a national team. But I think Henderson has claimed his stake right now. But, it's a conversation that a lot of people are saying, why are you taking injured players? Rather put in the young ones. I just think that much younger brains should be in there. But we're running out of time. Give us your social media handles. Where can they find you, the viewers find you?
Instagram, Kuf_23. And then on Twitter, it's Kifue Mahlangu 2. And then, on YouTube, you can say Sports Talk with Kifue. And that's about it. Even on Spotify or wherever you can get your podcasts.
All right. That was Kifue Mahlangu joining us here on Mo Sports, giving us a bit of brains on what he thinks is going on in terms of Bafana and the international games that are coming up. I mean, Euro is such a big conversation, and that is what I'm going to continue talking about with our Skype guest who will be coming on after this break. We'll be talking to Kamogelo Masango. She'll be telling us a little bit what she thinks about this national team of ours called Bafana and what's going on in terms of the Euros. We'll be right back.
I am super. I am new. I am daring and spontaneous. I make my dreams come true. I am super creative. I am created to create. I am a gamer, a super fan, a spectator, a couch coach. I take opportunity. Nginokuloser, but I siyaqhubeka. I am responsible. I am a place of joy, a place of hope, a game changer. I am freedom. Never before have you seen this. A winner despite the odds. Strus God uzoqala. No Gilinyora, star sama super.
What is anticipation?
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Oh, what? Nice. It's nice.
What anticipation looks like?
Oh, 11. Oh,
Give me a
you want a
9.
hit? What the? Can I have a hit, please? Ah! What?
Go,
Thank you very
bust,
much.
go, bust.
Quack, quack, quack.
How to set up anticipation?
Deal.
And if I were you,
I would stand.
How to anticipate?
yeah, yes, guys, hey, come.
Play, please play.
Well, oh,
250.
K18.
Go bust.
Watch us play blackjack on Super TV, channel 150 on OpenView, or anticipate yourself when you SMS Super TV to 30978. Super TV, let's play.
Today I'ma wake up a new man, driving a new road, develop a new plan. I'll never be blue, man.
Evolution Games presents Lightning Roulette. World-class live roulette meets advanced new gameplay fun. All the usual roulette bets plus extra chances to win with added lucky numbers and lucky payouts. Watch us play live roulette on Super TV channel 150 on OpenView or SMS Super TV to 30978 and play it yourself.
Warm welcome back to Mo Sports. I'm OB.KNOWS, and yes, we are currently back on the show, and we wanted to give you a Skype with Kamohelo Masango, but we're having a bit of technical difficulties trying to get a hold of her. Hopefully, before the end of the show, we can be able to catch up with Kamohelo and hear what her thoughts are on Bafana and the current international stage and what she thinks is currently going to go on in terms of Euro 2021. But let me not jump the gun. Let me give you the Mo riddle, right? Do remember that to give us the answer to the Mo riddle, you just got to simply not SMS, but WhatsApp us 0716214746 and let us know who you think the answer to the riddle is. And I will read it one more time for you before we go into what we're going to talk about. I mean, Lionel Messi is in trouble, so I'm pretty sure you want to hear a little bit more what I got to say about Lionel Messi. And the riddle goes like this. I'm a French international who holds 2 Confederations Cup medals, a World Cup medal, and a Euro 98 gold medal. I played for Marseille before making a move to Arsenal and later playing for Aston Villa and Villarreal. Who am I? Who is this Frenchman that I'm talking about? Let me know what your thoughts are. Who is he? I'm pretty sure you guys know. I mean, the Arsenal fans should really know exactly what I'm talking about. This is an Arsenal legend, to say the least. I mean, like I did say earlier on in the show, he was part of that invincible winning team. So yeah, he is an Arsenal legend if you ask me. But let's jump into what's going on in terms of international football. Now, Lionel Messi and Argentina, a big topic today because, well, if you woke up in the middle of the night, you might have been able to catch that game in the Conmebol. And it's unfortunate for us, I won't say Arsenal, but it's unfortunate for Lionel Messi and Argentina because they failed to keep a 2-0 lead. They had a 2-0 lead against Colombia, and they failed to maintain that lead and drawing the game 2-2. Now, the question, of course, remains, can Argentina win the Copa America? Now, it is the World Cup qualifiers that they're currently playing right now, but of course, it's preparation of what is coming in terms of Copa America, and they're not looking all too convincing at this point. And one conversation me and Mo have been talking about is the fact that Argentina have had a star-studded front line, not a star-studded team overall, but a star-studded front line, and this star-studded front line it's just so hard for them to do anything and to win any trophies. I mean, they did lose in the final of the Copa America to Chile. They did lose in the World Cup final again against Germany. So there's a lot that Argentina really need to get through. But a team that will be very concerned about yesterday's result or this morning's result is Aston Villa, because simply their goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, is the first choice of Argentina, but he had to be pulled off. He had to be pulled off in that game. Had to be stretched off rather because of a head injury. He had a collision with one of the Colombia players, and that led to him having to be stretched off the field. And of course, it does leave Martinez. It does leave rather Aston Villa concerned about their first choice goalkeeper. I mean, they did have a very tough time trying to replace an injured Tom Heaton last season, having to go through the season with Neyland in goal, who cost them, and they almost went to relegation last season. But since, of course, the arrival of Emi Martinez, they've looked a much better team coming from the back. And let's make it clear that they didn't make a lot of reinforcements in terms of their defense. They only brought in a goalkeeper, and that shows how important a goalkeeper, a communicating goalkeeper, is to a team. And it's just unfortunate that he's injured currently. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see if he'll be available for Copa America. I know Argentina will be hoping that that is indeed the case. Let me take you through into the website and show you where you can gain all the information about the Conmebol World Cup qualifiers. And you just simply got to SMS Super TV to 30978 to be able to join us on this expedition of the website. And if once you've done that, you can just, get access to all of the Super Stats website, where we give you all the stats that you need to know in terms of football, and where you can place some insightful bets. And let's go straight into the website, and let me show you what I'm talking about in terms of the World Cup qualifiers. Off we go. We're going to go to match info, statistics. Once we get to statistics, we're going to make it full screen and go to soccer. We are going to go into international. Once we get to international, we're looking for the World Cup qualifiers of the Conmebol. And there we go. And as it stands currently, Brazil are at the top of the standings. As you can see, they're sitting there with 6 games and 6 wins, a total of 16 goals scored while only conceding 2. And do remember that the 2 goalkeepers in this team is Alisson Becker and Edison Moares, and definitely it shows that they are quality goalkeepers and they're quality players overall, because they are able to just keep clean sheets like it's nothing. They're keeping clean sheets. Very well done from them. And you look at the team that is sitting second, Argentina, struggling to gain some consistency, getting 3 draws and 3 wins. Not something that Lionel Messi will be happy about going into the Copa America. In third place is Ecuador, sitting there with 9 points, while followed by Uruguay with 8 points, getting 6 games, 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. Colombia sitting there with 8 points, the team that drew with Argentina last night. And David Ospina, wow, what a performance from him as well, managing to keep out Lionel Messi countless times in that game as well. Paraguay winning, or rather losing their last game, and they lost it to, let's see who they lost that game to. They lost it to Brazil, a 2-0 win to Brazil, and as you can see, 7 points they've picked up. Chile looking like they're struggling in this qualification round. They're sitting there with 6 points, 1 win picked up in their recent expeditions there. And as you can see, Bolivia sitting there with 5 points out of 6 games. Venezuela sitting there with 4 points. At the bottom of the barrel is Peru, who are sitting there with 4 points. Now, let's take a look at the results, and when are the next fixtures coming up for the World Cup qualifiers. Now, we're jumping into the next fixtures rather, but now we look at the results. This is how it was rounded up. On the 8th, yesterday, it ended up as a 2-1 win for Peru, beating Ecuador, and a 0-0 draw between Venezuela and Uruguay there. And then Colombia, they drew with Argentina. As you can see, it was 2-0 to Argentina in the first half, and they conceded 2 goals in the second half. Luis Muriel scoring the first one, and the second one coming from Borja in the last minute of that game. Brazil also managing to win their 2-0 to them against Paraguay. And if I'm mistaken, we had Richarlison on the score sheet as well in that game. And you can see Chile drawing 1-1 with Bolivia, a disappointing one there for Chile. And let's take a look at when the next fixtures are coming up. I mean, they are going into the Copa America in the next few weeks, but this is what you can look forward to in terms of the World Cup qualifiers a bit later on in the year. Bolivia will be resuming their qualifiers against Colombia, while Chile will be playing against Brazil. Paraguay will be taking on Uruguay, Peru rather, will be taking on Uruguay. As you can see, Venezuela will be taking on Argentina, and Ecuador will be playing against Paraguay. And that is how it's currently looking in the Conmebol. Look, I don't know what your thoughts are in terms of Copa America. Is Argentina stepping into the right? Are they making the right steps? I mean, they are preparing for. I mean, these are the World Cup qualifiers, but it's still pretty much a preparation for what to expect in the Copa America. And the way they've been looking, I can't really say that I have a lot of hope for them coming into this Copa America. And it's something that is unfortunate to say about a team such as it's unfortunate, we can't talk about Argentina as such a light. I mean, they've got Lionel Messi, they've got Di Maria, Lautaro Martinez, but still they can't get themselves wins against the smaller teams. I mean, Bolivia, come on. We saw where Bolivia is sitting in terms of the standings, and they still couldn't get themselves past Bolivia. So I'm really expecting them to struggle when it comes to winning the Copa America. It could be Messi's last one as well. We just don't know what the problem might be there. But we've got Kamogelo Masango on Skype. We finally managed to get a hold of her. She will give us a bit more information about what she thinks is going on in terms of Bafana and who she is kind of placing her money on when it comes to the Euro 2020. Kamo, thank you for joining us once again on Mo Sports.
Thank you for having me again, OV.
Hey, we try to get a hold of you, and OB, man, we can't get a hold of you. What's up?
Network.
No, it's all good, Kabu. We really understand. I mean, I was having a conversation just a few minutes ago with Kifue Mahlangu here in studio, and we were talking about Bafana. And I know you are one person who likes talking or who really wants to shed a bit more knowledge in terms of Bafana. What are your thoughts on the squad that has recently been assembled, and what are your thoughts in terms of tomorrow's game?
Bafana is always an interesting topic for me. Can you hear me, Obi?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
All right, so I'm very, very happy with how the squad is looking. We have a number of young players joining. We've got Derek in defense. We've got the likes of Nkosinathi Sibisi in defense as well. We've got Sibusiso Mabilisi on defense, and all of these players are 25 years and younger. So it's looking really good on our side in terms of fitness, in terms of new people. That's what we've always been crying about. We've always looked for younger players in the squad, and having them now play is very exciting. We also have a very interesting duo from SuperSport in the midfield with Tebogo Mokoena and, of course, Sipho Mbule. So it's really, really looking good for us.
I think it is looking very good for us. But if I'm not mistaken, Sipho Mbule and Tebogo Mokoena were omitted from the squad, stating some COVID issues and health reasons. But I like the fact that you're mentioning that Hugo Broos decided to choose a bit younger players. I mean, it's something that we have been saying, we need more young blood in this team. But do you think that looking at what he's bringing into this team, do you think that is exactly what South Africa needs in terms of qualifying for the next stage? I mean, we can't be looking at the World Cup right now. Clearly, we can't be looking at the 2022 World Cup. But do you think in the near future we are moving in towards the right direction?
Obi, I think we are. We have seen veterans play for Bafana and not really conceive any goals in games, not even a title. So I think having younger players that are more hungry to represent their nation, players that are more hungry to also play on international levels, I think this is a good opportunity for us and to grow. We are obviously not looking at the 2022 World Cup and definitely not looking for any other title in terms of Bafana right now. But for the near future, I think the boys can just practice more playing together, learn their style of play, and play as a joint unison. And then we might just bag a title or perhaps qualify for the next World Cup.
Yeah, and before the viewers think that we are just putting down Bafana for no reason, I mean, we're looking at this group that, Bafana are in terms of the World Cup qualifiers. We've got Ghana in there, we've got Zambia in there, and we've got Ethiopia in there. These are teams that can literally just push us aside if they wanted to.
Of course. I mean, Uganda and Zambia, I mean, it's a struggle. Ethiopia for me is not that big of a threat because the last time they won, it was actually an own goal by Bernard Parker. But looking at Zimbabwe and Uganda, those are our biggest threats. They're obviously coming into us with much anticipation and the intention to slaughter us like they always have. But I trust that the boys will definitely come through and do the most.
Well, let's hope they do actually do the most, in tomorrow's fixture. But let's talk about the Euros. That's one thing that, of course, is a hot topic. I mean, that's the big tournament that's starting before all the other big tournaments. And let's talk about the Euros a little bit. Who you think is your favorite? Who's your favorite, actually, in the Euros to take it?
I could obviously go for France. France has a more solid a solid team on paper, but like Xavi said, football is not won on paper but on pitch.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting one to see. I think N'Golo Kante will not be playing as well due to a slight injury he got, but France is one of my favorites. Also, England is very hazardous with Phil Foden looking to demolish the other team. So I think England might just have a good fight, but I'm going to stick with France.
All right, cool. If you're sticking with France, then it's cool. I mean, like, if we was also saying that France are the more dominant side and they look more, likely to win it. So I won't take it away from you guys. I do believe that they have a very good squad. But let's talk about the players that are missing in this competition. I mean, there's a lot of players, big-name players, that are missing in this competition, whether it's injury or that teams did not qualify. Who are the names that you can highlight for us that you might have wanted to see in this tournament?
I don't think anyone ever thinks of Spain without Sergio Ramos. So the Sergio Ramos thing is like, it just blew me away. I can't necessarily imagine how they're going to play without him. Also, I mean, Van Dijk also said earlier, I think he was one of the first people to say that he won't be playing. So that was well established. Ibrahimovic was willing to demolish other teams with Sweden. So I was also quite looking forward to Ibrahimovic. And of course, like I mentioned, N'Golo Kante not been playing. I think those are big names that are really, I think they would affect the Euros a bit too much.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. But I do believe that there will be a lot more entertainment in terms of the Euros. I'm not concerned about the entertainment, but let's talk about Germany. It is Joachim Löw's last task as a German manager, taking them through these Euros. What do you think we should anticipate from this German national team?
Germany needs to really step up. From the 2018 FIFA World Cup, they weren't as great. So now's the time to make their coach proud. He's been coaching them for over a decade now, so they need to really pay tribute. And no better way to pay tribute to him than to win the Euros. So I really expect them to really come through. I expect Sané, Kimmich, and Müller to necessarily demolish everyone, even though I'm a France fan right now. But I really think they have the upper hand. And they really, really need to do the most for their coach as well. So, I think it's going to be a very difficult one as far as Germany is concerned. But also they're in the same team with Portugal and, of course, Hungary and, is it France?
Yeah. I mean, they're in the group with Portugal, France, and Germany. It's Germany, Portugal, and France, and Hungary as well. So it's going to be a very tough group. I mean, I do believe
it's going to be a very tough one.
I would like to see, who is going to be eliminated from that one, because the super viewers have a lot to bet on, and we'll have to conclude this conversation another time. But let the viewers know exactly where can they find you in terms of social media handles.
I am Kamokhelo Masango on Facebook. I am Kamokhelo_01 on Instagram. And Kamokhelo with 4_M on Twitter.
All right, Kamo, thank you very much for joining us. And we will be hearing from you, hopefully, very soon. Hopefully we'll hear from you very soon.
Oh, definitely.
All right, thank you very much, Kamo. That was Kamokhelo Masango talking to us about what she thinks is going to go on with Bafana, and also what is going on in terms of the Euros. Now, we have run out of time on this expedition of Mo Sports. But before we conclude the show, we have to give you the answer to the Mo riddle. And the answer is Robert Pires. That is the answer of the Mo riddle. This is the guy we're talking about when we're talking about the invincible, the legend. I mean, if he's not a legend in your books, then we can't talk football, my guy, because this is an invincible winning left winger, and I think he's done a lot to deserve, the legendary status in terms of football. And hopefully also we'll see him on that Hall of Fame in the EPL that they just introduced. But that's how we round up Mo Sports. Thank you very much for joining us. I hope you did get a bit of more football knowledge than you had before you joined us earlier on in the show. I hope you did enjoy the show, and I hope that we will be seeing you once again on Friday. Mo, hopefully, he will be back on Friday. But for now, though, it's a good afternoon.
You're locked into Super TV, only on OpenView, channel 150.
Are you keen for some extra spending? Well, this week you can score yourself a 100 Rand Checkers or Pick and Pay